Thank you. I was muted. How are you tonight, John? Just getting set up here. As you can probably notice, there's some different looks going on with the stream. Yeah, I'm doing well. I spent a bunch of time on Sunday trying to put together some stream elements things, take some tips from some of the people who are a little more experienced with this, and have some good setups. So let me know if you have any feedback. Still mucking around with it a little bit, so we'll see how it goes. Tonight's the inaugural run. Okay, so I am going to start with our stream notes from Saturday. So I think it was pretty straightforward. We had, you know what? I stepped outside of what I pledged to do. So I've been mentioning that I'm only going to work on this on stream, which I have done a pretty good job of. Aside from some communication with Dan and Brian, I've been doing all of this work on stream. The one thing I did this time is as we were ending last stream, we had it so the unit test that I had written, so this new unit test went to green. So we now have a passing unit test, and we were looking like we're in good shape, like we had things implemented the way we wanted them to be implemented. So what I did is I tried it out, and the results were very good. So what I'm going to do here, and we'll see how well this works. I've had some hiccups with Ryder actually launching my app. So we'll try it out here and see how it goes. Advisor. This is all good. So working on that continuation of build failed. See? And look at this. It's not seeing my Android device. I think I just have to plug it back in. There we go. Okay, so we'll get our device up here. I gotta try and get it to save these settings. Save. All right, well, either way. Okay, we've got our app up. That's a stale build, so it complained about something in our build here. I don't know why. Let's just see if we can debug the Prism tab nav Android head. Oh, that looks better. Here we go. Launching. I am going to, one of the things I meant to do is check on the YouTube stream. I've done a very poor job of monitoring the YouTube chat, and we've actually got a whole pile of subscribers on YouTube. So it actually makes a lot of sense to monitor that chat. Just give me a minute. This is loading up anyways. So it's launching. Just kind of watching out of the corner of my eye here. Okay, now I can watch the chat. Good stuff. All right. So we got to the moment of truth. So we've got some breakpoints in here. I don't know if I have any other breakpoints in here. I guess we'll see. So if I bring up, should drive this all through Visor. Okay, so we had our navigation links. So these were not working, and I'm pretty sure I tested this one between like on Saturday, Sunday morning, I think, maybe Saturday evening. Okay, I want to get rid of these breakpoints. It's so hard to find anything when I've got the screen density set up like this. All right, we'll just take them as they come. Oh, you didn't see. It jumped right to our item. So it is working. We have working tab navigation in Prism. So I'll show that again. Hit the breakpoint last time. Yeah, victory. Oh yeah, that's fantastic. Love it. So that is great. I'm very happy that we got this working with, that's actually, so I committed the changes. That was the other thing I did. So if I take a look at that commit, so what's a good visual way? So if I take a look at this commit, and we actually look at what was changed, I'm actually going to, let's see, put this in a window, make it full screen so we have a actual decent view. So this is part of the riders source control mechanisms. So that's nice. So this is the commit. So if we take a look at this, it's really, it's the enhancements for tab navigation. We changed 2 files of the actual project and some tests. So if we take a look at what actually changed in page navigation service, so we've got our, we're passing next segment. So we've got a new param that we're passing down into our select page tab, which I don't even know if we need this. I should actually, I'm glad I'm reviewing this right now. So let's take a look. Then we've got, oh, I'm reviewing the fixture. Oh no, that's just the file. Sorry, hit the wrong button. Okay, so next segment, passing into our select page tab. So the 2 calls into that. Go to the next one. Tab page select tab. This is where we were actually passing in the segments, or the current segment. Select page tab. So this is the new method parameter here. And again, pass through to tab page select tab. I don't even know if I'm using that anymore. Another instance of tab page select tab. So we'll have to actually see if I ended up using that. I don't think I did actually. So we get the segment in here. Are we using it in here? No, and this isn't where, this is the site where I actually changed anything. So I don't even think, okay, so let's do some cleanup. So I'm actually going to go back through this and undo a bunch of these changes. Ha! Isn't that fun? Okay, let's keep looking through here. So I've got some work to do. So I'm just going to bring up my notes. We'll create a new note for today. So I'm going to get our agenda kind of set up here, and then I'm going to go get a beer. Because I don't have one yet. It's bordering on dangerous writing code without a beer. Okay, so so today's items, I've not been consistent in how I'm laying out these stream notes. I don't care. Okay, so we need to clean up unneeded changes to navigation, page navigation service, page navigation service. Cool, so that's the first thing we'll do. Then the next thing we'll do is we'll write some more unit tests. So we need unit testing. So our current test case, we'll think about this a little further, so I'll come back to this. So I guess the first action item here is, let's figure out what test scenarios do we need? So test scenarios and then write some tests. Cool. What else do we want to do here? So unit tests, and then I think we should write like a few tests. So let's say let's box this. We'll write 3 tests. So we'll write 3 unit tests, and then we're going to look at some UI testing. And I really want to look at UI testing because it's kind of fresh right now. So we'll evaluate existing, determine, so what scenarios. And then we'll write 1 unit test or 1 UI test. Okay. So this is what we're going to go after. So just looking, I'm just going to flip back to last session, so Saturday's notes. I did not do this. Figure out F11 step into mapping. Because yeah, that's annoying for debugging. Shared this out, gave some rider keys away. More unit testing, manual functional testing. We did a little bit of that. We'll probably start with more unit tests. So this pretty much aligns with our plan today. Gotta get those clean up items taken care of. All right. On that note, we are 15 minutes in. I do not have a beer yet. I'm going to go grab a beer. I will be back in a second. Be right back. All right, I'm back. So today, Ochame. This camera is not focusing. Ochame, which is a green tea IPA, clocking in at 6.5%. This is again from that Godspeed brewery that I love near my house. All right. Last thing I want to do is have an abysmal pour when I'm on camera. So there's evidence saved. I did well. Good. All right. Cheers. That's tasty. Okay, let's get back to it here. Now this is interesting. It reset the chat. Huh. Okay. Things that I'm learning. Okay, so let's do this. Let's get into some cleanup here. Now, I'm pretty sure if I do something like this, I actually want to compare this. Compare with local. This theme does not cover all scenarios. Oh well. Okay, so that's not what I want. I want to, before my changes, I want to take this version. Oh, this is the full history. That's not what I want to do at all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to diff this. Show history. Diff it with the last changes. Whoops. Compare with local. So this gives me a diff between the last, like basically what we had from the repo, so our base, to what we had changed. So then we can navigate through. And what that allows me to do is, because I have our changes here, I can just modify this right in the editor, which is nice. Okay, so let's start with, is this number one? Okay, so select page tab. I actually want to look at the stack backwards though. You know what? I'll just go through sequentially. It'll be easier. So we don't need next segment. Boom, that's gone. Again, we don't need next segment. We never use that. Good stuff. On to the next. Tab page, select tab. Don't need that next segment. Next. So this is our select page tab, the actual method signature. We'll get rid of segment. Tab page, select tab. Again, don't need segment. On to the next. Tab page, select tab. So we'll remove it from the signature here. Good stuff. I think we're back to green. So now these are the changes that Dan and I made to make it a little more efficient to select the tab. So that's good. So it's more efficient and it covers more scenarios. And the one thing I see here immediately is down here we've got this, we're using this child found flag. This is where I thought the code was initially going to go. It does not go there, so we will kill that. And then I believe this variable is not used at all. So that can go away. Cool. So another improvement there. Okay. So this is the actual change. The change came down to pretty much this here. So these 5 lines, these 2 lines, that's it. 7 lines of code for these changes. Oh, John, I meant the chat that's kind of hovering over the code. I'm actually going to turn it off. It's kind of funny. I don't like how much real estate it takes up on the screen. So, what do you think? Better? because I was pointing out code that was behind that chat. Yeah, exactly. And I don't want to, like, I really like this, how I think I've mentioned this before. I'm big on watching these live coding sessions from my iPad or from my phone. Just like when I get a notification that somebody's casting, I like to just check it out. Sometimes I'll tune in for 5 minutes. Sometimes I'll be working on something interesting and 5 minutes will turn to, you know, a couple hours. But I like viewing it on my iPad. Oh, something happened here. Something timed out or just, yeah, whatever. So I like it nice and big, and I don't want to block too much of the screen. Okay, so I think we're in good shape there. I'm going to rerun our tests. Get rid of this version history. Hide this. Close this. Okay, let's look at our fixture again. I'm going to scroll to the top of this. There's a bunch of stuff commented out here too. Like, I should check on this too. So let's quickly look at... let's show history, and let's compare this with local, and we'll just review these changes quickly. So we renamed the mock to make it more consistent. So that was not a good thing. So it was called second content page mock. All the other content pages didn't have the mock suffix, so it was inconsistent. We got rid of that inconsistency, because I was trying to just use second content page. Others would probably do the same. So then I just changed all the usages of it. Okay. That's all this is. That's all this is. Okay, so this is our new test case. Yes. Okay, so again, got some useless stuff in here. All these, so from here on out, you can see there's all these changes down here, indicated with these blue markings in our scroll bar. That's where I renamed everything to be explicitly modal. And really, if we're going to be doing that, these need to change. So all these tests that run modal are now going to, these are actually going to work like how we've described our pages to work in our test up here. So this is going to try and navigate to tab 2 content page. Okay, so I'm pretty convinced there's no junk in here, nothing to get cleaned up. Close that off. I'm going to go back into Test Explorer, or unit tests here. And hey, Oscar. Oscar tuning in from YouTube. I'm glad, thanks for the feedback. He says, Oscar says it looks better without the chat as well. Okay, so we've got our passing tests, which is great. I'm going to get rid of that diff. So I'm going to go all the way to the top here. Oops. You know, I don't know my shortcuts well enough in a lot of cases. So we'll just run all tests in here and see what kind of report we get. So I'm pretty convinced that some of those modal tests, so here's what's changed. The tests used to be for navigating to a new page from a tab, and it was implicit that they would always come up modal. now that we've changed the behavior, they're not coming up modal. Yeah, see, this is funny. So it seems that the tests don't even necessarily cover that. So those tests were not great to begin with. Okay, so let's figure out how we're going to test that. So we'll navigate to the first one here. So this is our first modal test. The way this really should be working. Yeah, so what they should be testing for. So if we look at the URI here, we're navigating to a navigation page. Well, hold on, let's go to the start. So our root page is a master detail. Actually, this is master detail. This shouldn't change, sorry. From tab, where are tab tests? Here, structure. This is this is a time where I will praise regions. Crazy. Okay, so here's our modal test. So let's take a look at what this is trying to test. So we start with the content page at the root. Great. Then we're going to navigate to a tab page. We're going to select the tab called tab 2. And then we're going to navigate to a content page from there. So the way this worked before I made the change is this would have launched content page as a modal page. So this would be the beginning. This slash would indicate the beginning of a new stack. Hey, everybody's on YouTube. Cool. Now we get John and Oscar on YouTube. Welcome. So, so what we really should be testing for here is to see how many pages are on the stack, right? Like this almost seems a little flawed the way we're testing here. So let's put a breakpoint in here. Let's debug this and let's actually see what's on that stack. So it's either one of two things. So number one, that test is right and the change we made is not actually applied the way we want in this scenario. Number two, the test is wrong and needs adjusting so it actually counts how many pages are on the stack with a little more accuracy. So let's see where we're at here. So this is after navigation. So we should have content page, tab 2 selected, and then a second content page pushed onto that stack. So what do we got here? Root page, navigation, modal stack, one page in it, and it's our tab page mock. Okay, so we know that the root page has a tab page in its modal stack. Cool. Good stuff. Okay, so let's go down here. This test to make sure actually we'll get down to here. So this next test here, so we're making sure the tab page is not null, which we know it isn't. We just took a look at that. Tab page, current page is not null. Oh no, we haven't run that line. Ha. So tab page is our tab page. Our current page is a tab 2 mock. So we know that's what's selected on that. So now what? This current page. No, I guess this is right. Modal stack. How does this possibly work? Okay, let's see. Tab page, navigation, modal stack. There's one page in it. And that's our content page mock. So I'm trying to visualize what this would actually have done. Oh, right. I know the deal. Okay, so it's implicit that if this tab 2 is not a navigation page, which I'm pretty sure it isn't, if tab 2 is not a navigation page, then it will open as modal. So that still is preserved, that functionality. Interesting, interesting. Let's experiment with this a little bit. So let's look at this tab 2. That's here. Tab 2 mock. Pretty sure this is just a content page. Come on. You know what an easier way to do this is? Just navigate to the actual, yeah. So it's a content page. So it's not a navigation page, it's not wrapped in a navigation page. So we can't navigate on tab 2. So once we're on tab 2, because it's not wrapped in a navigation page, we're immediately, anytime we want to go anywhere from tab 2, it has to be modal or another tab. That's basically what it is. Or resetting the stack completely. Okay, so this is good. This passes, and it passes because it's correct. So that's good. I like that. Let's look at some of these other scenarios here. So really, these other scenarios, so tab 2 again. Let's minimize this. Are we still debugging? Yeah, let's just let this play out. So I'm just going to go back to the structure navigation. So let's see. So we've got all these modal tests here. And we've got the create tabs, so that's the other thing that we have to focus on. So this is our test, the one that we wrote for the scenario that we just developed for. It's funny, it says Brian there, but that's just because of weird line numbering things. Or sorry, it's this one. This one's the one we built. 2 content page modal, we know that's okay. So this is really 2 content page, so selected tab. See, this starts getting a little crazy. Navigate from content page to tab page. Selected tab. Selected tab. Not navigation page. To content page modal. And really this is to content page implicit. See, this is where I'm going to have a conversation with the maintainers, because look at how long this method name is. Really, like, look at how long this class is. I mean, there's a lot of tests in here, and they really probably would benefit from being broken up into a smaller file. You just tend to get lost in big files like this way too easy. Like, we're not even close to the bottom of this either. This is a big, big file filled with tests. So I will talk to Dan. So I'm going to action item some of this stuff and actually action it. Come on. Okay, so let's put some action items to today. I think I will talk to Dan. Dan's been reviewing the Uno, put it in a big commit. Jerome from Uno put in a huge commit to get Prism working with Uno. So there's not a big commit, a huge PR out there, and Dan's been reviewing that pull requests in his session. So I think I'll see if he's open to, if he's still working on that, I'll leave him alone, but if he's open to it, maybe go through the tests and do a little bit of cleanup at some point in the next little while here. So I guess I gotta put some specific items. Naming. Convention. So I have no idea how we're gonna keep this reasonable. You know? That is a long test name. All right, so that's our implicit modal. I think the rest of these kind of fall into that same territory. And really, yeah, page mock. So all these modal tests are about the same. Yeah, nothing too crazy. So let's look at the next scenario. So we haven't looked at create tab at all. So Prism has the ability to dynamically create tabs based on the navigation URL, which is really cool. It'd be cool to have some tests around it, wouldn't it? So select tabs. So this is our vanilla scenario where we're not navigating to another tab. Create tabs with navigation page. So just creating tabs with navigation page. For tab, navigation page wraps tab 1, tab 2, tab 3. Cool. If anybody has any questions about this, please let me know too. Can always walk through any more of this. Let's see, so this one, create tabs with navigation page, create tabs. Okay, so this is the select tab. So here's where we start getting into our scenarios. So this is the last test in this block. Yeah, so okay. Tab page, empty. Not sure really what that means. Oh, tab 1, creating tab 2, wrapped in a navigation page. Creating tab 3, selecting tab 2. Cool. So this leads very easily. I can copy paste this. And let's copy paste this. Cool, that's good. And then I'm going to go back up to the test that I had written. So that is this one. Cool. So this is where we're selecting the content page and navigating to the second content page. So basically just want that. So I'm gonna, second content page, I know that's where we want to go, and then we also want to check the nav page. Tab page current, yeah, we'll grab this. Oh, interesting. I'm not actually testing to see that we have the right tab selected here. So let's add that in, because we want that. So we just need this. That's that. Tab page, current page. Actually, we test that implicitly. Yeah, we do. We're testing to make sure that this is a navigation page. We know that this content page that we've navigated to is wrapped in a navigation page, the mock of it, implicitly on this tab page. Okay, so I'm just gonna leave this alone, it's fine. Actually, it doesn't make me super comfortable, but whatever. These tests need a little bit of revamping anyways. Okay, let's go to the bottom of our region. So here we are. So this is creating our pages. So we test, let's see what conditions we have out of the box here. So get the tab page, basically because we're soft casting it. checking for null. We're guaranteed that it's a tab page. Empty mock. Checking the count. So it has 3 children. Child 1 is tab 1. Child 2 is a navigation page. See, this is really what I should be stealing. Okay, so I'm going to do 2 things. So I'm going to kind of drop what we had in there. Nav page. So we'll do that null check up here. Why not? I think I'm going to add some comments to this too. It's kind of hard to comment this, right? We'll leave it as is. Consistency's sake. So I'm going to put... The one thing that I like is I do like the way that this is checking to make sure that the nav page, like this is funny because there's no way it's anything else, right? But this is more explicit to say what we're doing. Whatever. Hey, Brian. Yep, writing tests. So I'm actually going to use this nav page. I'm just going to grab this snippet here. I'm going to use it up in my test above. Shuttle back over there. I know this is what everybody wants to see when they come to see live coding sessions, right? Oh, I wish this person was writing unit tests. That's all I want to see. It's so exciting. But you know what? I have beer, so... Does that count for some points? Okay, so our content page, implicit modal, so it's this one here. So we get our nav page. Oh no, we do verify. Just gonna paste this. Yeah, that's not applicable. Okay, so we'll leave that one as is. We'll go back to our create page scenario. Okay, so tab 2 mock, that's correct. And then, so this is the next thing. We're going to navigate to second content page. We're just going to slap that on the end here. So Brian, Dan said this is cool. This should work like this. He said you guys discussed it. I hope that's the truth and he's not leading me astray. Select tab. How did I name the other one? Not the truth. Yeah, because I know you had said in your GitHub comment on the issue that it's going to break the existing navigation behavior to launch things modal. So yeah, I've made changes so that it's implicitly, yeah, see? And Brian, so Dan's attitude is if you want to maintain the existing behavior, use the query parameter, the use modal navigation query parameter. So let's connect on this. I think the three of us need to have a quick discussion. In the meantime, these are still good tests. And and we can easily shift things around. Okay, so I want to see to content page. It's just what we're calling that. So we're going to call ours to content page. Yeah, agreed. Agreed. It's a behavior, breaking behavior. I was apprehensive about it too, particularly after you made that comment in the GitHub issue. All right, let's see. Okay, so simple, tossed on second content page. Yeah, if we have to change the way this is parsing and use some other kind of, some other indicator in the string, in the URI string, so be it. Build this. Okay, let's run our test. No good. What we got here? So expected tab 2 mock. Actual, oh, second content page mock, right. That makes sense. Yeah, we've got two different conditions here. Checking the same thing. Okay, let's run that again. Yeah, and I hear what you're saying, Brian, like an API break versus a runtime behavior break is, yeah, that's tricky. Because you're not going to get it at, you're not able to just see that there's something wrong at design or build time. You're like basically screwed until you go and somebody's using your app and it starts behaving differently. Okay, so that's good. So we've got another test built. Cool. What else did we have on our notes? Write 3 tests. What other scenarios do we want to test here? I guess let's go back to our actual prototype here. Okay, so create tab, navigation page, items. That's not exciting. Create tabs, item 2. Let's see if this works. So this is basically an actual test of what our unit test just did. This is interesting. I think this is the... Brian, I think I just ran into the issue that you had opened in Xamarin.Forms repo. Yeah. I think that's the one. Cool. Broke my terrible test phone. See if we can do it again. Come on. Nope, pretty sure that's full on broken. All right. I need to sit. Yeah. So this is not going to work until that bug is fixed on Xamarin.Forms. So our unit test works, but our actual test does not. Okay, so you know what? Our next objective next thing I want to do is do a bit of UI testing. Now, UI testing. Not my forte. Okay, so just gonna make some notes here again. So we wrote a test. Markdown is also not my forte. Wrote create tabs test. This scenario does not work in an actual app due to this. Good stuff. All right. So, what else would we want to test here? So, maybe some absolute navigation, but I think that's already mostly covered. We'll come back to that. I want to take a look at what I saw earlier today. Earlier today, I was in the Prism Slack chat. I saw something very interesting come up. Just trying to find my browser window. Let's see. Here it is. Nope. What did I do with that? Must have closed it. Here we go. This is what I found. Or what I saw. So some UI test results here. Which is very cool. So it looks like Jerome and Dan have been working on some UI tests on the CI branch, on the CI pipeline. Oh, that was a bad browser crash right there. Whew. Took down my music, killed the party. Let's get back up and running here. Probably doesn't help that I have 1,000 tabs open. It's actually not that bad compared to what it's been in other times, but I still have far too many tabs open. Far, far too many. happened to my pretzel? Brian, we can take a look at my approach to implement the feature in just 1 second here. Just one moment. I'll actually show you the changes I've made so far. All right. So I'll show you what I've done. So it's basically, I think it was 7 lines of code is all I wrote, all in all. Yeah, I know that the changes in the nav service are, it's big. So we'll just compare this with local. So I'll show you what we got here. So essentially, Dan was on the stream last Tuesday, and this was the tab page select tab method, where after you had taken a look at what I had done, you said, hey, it's not there, which, yeah, it became very obvious once I got into things a little deeper. So basically, as we were looking through this, Dan had some suggestions to simplify it. We added some condition checking here. Where if there's multiple matches, because there's multiple tabs that match the type that's coming in, we throw a ambiguous path exception, so a new exception type. So this is somewhat minor, and the test pass. I don't know if you're willing to take that risk or if you just want me to abandon that, but this is not the bulk of it. Yeah, it's a good question. Why not just select the first? I don't know. This was Dan's suggestion. I rolled with it. Okay, so I don't want to distract from the main point anyways. So it's basically, like I said, I think this is 7 lines of code. So there's 5 lines here. So this is in the do push method. So do push, the first thing that we had to change is the use modal navigation method returns false if the tab that we're dealing with is a navigation page. So that's a little lower down. That's only like 3 lines of code. This here is the bulk of it though. Can I resize this? So we're checking if the current page is a tab page. If the current page of the tab page is a navigation page, then we're going to push to the navigation stack of that navigation page. So there's that. And then this is the condition to have it return false for use modal navigation. So same thing. So if the current page is a navigation page, or if the current page is a tab page and the tab page, current page of the tab page is a navigation page, use modal as false. So this is the behavior change. So this is the tricky part, right? So if we want to, if you're willing to break the behavior, it sounds like you're not, then this is pretty much ready to ship from what I can tell. If you want it to behave differently, we have to determine how it's going to behave. So it's kind of tricky because I don't really know what you'd have in mind for that. So I was thinking the pipe delimiter was used in the create tab syntax, right? So if I close this off, so if we look at create tab and we do something like this, so if we wanted to have just use pipes for on the select as well, so if you're going to, so instead of being selected tab, tab 2 slash, if you do pipe to indicate that you want that to be part of tab 2, then you could even combine it, right? So you could load up tab 2, put second content page on, and then you could go to like wherever, have another one come on top of it as a modal. It even gives you more flexibility that way. So I kind of prefer that, honestly. Because that's ultimate flexibility. That means that you could link to a tab inside your app, load it up to a specific page, and then launch something on top of it. So like if you wanted to go to, I don't know, say you've got a product category or a product catalog, and you navigate to, you know, your catalog tab, and then the category that the product belongs to, and then the product page itself, and then maybe you've got a modal page for, I don't know, buy now or photos or something like that. You could even get to that depth. So I love that flexibility, because I could see that being like, I'm dealing with an app right now that has these kind of scenarios, and it's just what it is. It's product catalog. So there's a lot of they're using deep links for marketing. There's deep links being thrown all over the web, and the client wants it to go right to the specific point in the app, just like they would be able to with the web. So I do like this a little bit better. Why is that selecting so slow? So I'm going to dump this into discuss tab navigation behavior. Dan and Brian. I think it makes sense to talk to both of you guys. I've been talking mostly with Dan, but it sounds like we need to all get straight here. Create tab. Yeah, I like the syntax. Anybody else have any thoughts on this? So, pipe syntax. adds further flexibility by combining. Right, the other thing I wasn't considering on this, Brian, was the other thing I wasn't considering on this was the other scenarios like master detail and things like that. So yeah. Well, like as far as parsing goes, right, it becomes everything up to, this becomes your like hard delimiter to the fact that as soon as you hit one of these, you're saying modal new stack. Everything after here is modal new stack. So every time you have a slash, I think. Or up until your first slash. Yeah, I know. Because if you do another page, if you do page 1 / page 2 / page 3, it's just adding them to the stack, right? It's tricky, man. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, if you're in a navigation page, it's going to behave one way. So it's tricky. Okay, so clearly we need some design here. Because the basic functionality, like, it's good to go. So I'll show you that. I was showing that off earlier. Because I'm like, made it work with very little code. With the information I had at the time, which I know is not necessarily the way we actually want to run with things. Because yeah, I understand. Like now that I start thinking about it. Yeah, master detail with the nav page, with the tab page, with the nav page. Yeah, all the different scenarios, all the scenarios. But like really those are real things, right? So much complexity. What is Visor doing to me here? Just torturing me? Of course I'm going to see the stupid bars again. Oh no, I'm not. Ooh, look at that. Save my preferences and everything. Okay, so if I launch my shitty web page, oh god, shut up. So this item 2, where did I put that? I had it up somewhere, but yeah, here we go. So it's going to main page, selected tab, items page. Yeah. Yeah, it does gives you an appreciation for the Prism nav service and how it can handle all that with a simple URI. Yeah, really does. So yeah, there's a lot going on there. So main page, selected tab, items page, item detail page. So this is using the slash as the delimiter there to say within items page, push the next page to the stack and pass in the navigation parameter of ID = 2. So as soon as I open that, open the background, whatever. So click into that, goes into the app. And hopefully it works and it wasn't crashed out. Let me just try that again. Holy crap. Is this one of those things where it works the first time, but then it doesn't work after that? Or really it's apps running and it works fine, or nothing's working. I think I need to redeploy my app. Let's do that. Phone is not liking something I'm doing to it. It's torture. Torturing it. What is going on? Yeah. Another keyword for navigation into the current tab. I don't know, what is that bias though? Because we have to, at some point, we have to decide when we're done with, yeah, nav into. Oh man, yeah. I guess that makes it easier, right? Because then if you're delimiting those with a pipe, then you know as soon as you're into anything else, as soon as you hit an ampersand or a slash or whatever, you're out of that navigation path and doing something different. So, well, we don't necessarily have to assume, we can check, right? I don't know what's going on with my phone. Something like this. Brian has proposed. God, these URLs are like hard to read to get to this level. Yeah. So that's another idea with nav into, because then you could tap on again. Another page. That's very complicated. Very complicated. So I assume there's already a parser built for the create tab. Because I kind of get it, right? Like that nav into as a flag. Yeah, the nav into as a flag doesn't give you the same flexibility, right? So if you did something like, so I keep thinking this modal at the end. So I do really like this. I actually think this is it's very promising. Then again, like this versus this. So this is a simpler syntax. So if we did the exact same thing here and did like UA UB, see. Because as soon as you're in selected tab here, like the only other, is the pipe being used anywhere else besides create tab? I don't think so, is it? Because then it behaves, then select tab behaves just like create tab, which is actually what I expected. So I had a discussion with Almir. I think you probably know Almir. So I had a discussion with him on Slack a while ago because we were both looking at this at about the same time. Almir Vuk? Yeah. Yeah. So he was kind of, we were both looking at it from the same perspective, and I think the most logical way is this. I think this is it. Because of the way create tab already works, using the pipe to string pages together, I think select tab with the pipe keeps it consistent. Now I know, well, there's the other thing. So Dan also made a suggestion to use encoding, which I found kind of interesting too. So what the hell is the UI code? Where's Meyer Web? Yeah. Brian gives a healthy hell no to encoding. I mean, it does make it like it's already hard to read. Like this is already, yeah. Yeah, right. I'm going to Meyer Web. Exactly, because nobody knows the characters. Yeah, is not human friendly. Okay. Yeah, I'm with you there because I know for me, I don't have those. I don't have the HTML entities committed to memory. I'd have to look it up every single time, and it would piss me off every time. So I'm down with the pipes. I think that's the way to go. Okay, so that changes things. So that super basic change I made is not going to cut it because, yeah, it just doesn't work. Okay. Yeah, I think that's so being able to modifying create tab to support creating a stack for each tab is good too. Yeah, to have the behavior the same because yeah, really, if you're using create, so really I'm just gonna ditch this, Brian, the nav into. I think this is the way we want to do it. So let's say tab 1, tab 2, tab 3, select tab, tab 2, view A, view B, view C. So really we'd want to create tab 2 and then yeah, pipe it view A, view B. You'd have to. Otherwise you could have these these wouldn't necessarily be congruent. If you're going to be able to allow navigating to a path with select tab, you have to be able to create it too. So yeah, I think that makes sense. So okay, the first scenario we'd want to code for. Yeah, exactly. Create tab is only for dynamically creating. So if we ditch all this, Oh, create tab is only used when dynamically creating tabs. Select tab will be used for existing tabs. Yeah, I still think you need select tab for create tab because you could. Hmm. Okay, that gets tricky because if you have multiple, so if you have 3 tabs, like we have here, yeah, you build your stack, but do you need to build your stack if you're letting select tab do that? I don't think you need to. It's not the same as navigating an existing tab. Well, but as soon as you have a navigation page in there, select tab should really be allowing you to choose that tab and then push other pages onto the stack. So I think this becomes redundant because you definitely need this and this, right? These are absolutely necessary. Create 3 tabs. I don't even know why you'd, yeah, I guess you would want to be able to do that because then you could, yeah. Okay, so I agree that's useful. I think maybe that's out of scope for this change and we open a second enhancement for that. Because I think that's gonna end up being edge. Because I know in the apps I've built, like usually if you've needed to deep link into a tab, if you're deep linking into something, it's usually only this tab you select that you care about. With bottom nav anyways, like with modern navigation. I know with top tabs it would probably have been a little bit different just because of the nature of how they work and like the different paradigms you can set up for navigation around that. Oh, there's so much going on. Okay, so I think this should be the starting point for this enhancement. So you know what I'll do? Instead of just siloing this in a gist, yeah, because really, okay, so I'm gonna, instead of having this just in my gist, let's go back to the enhancement here. Okay, so this is talking about the whole thing. Yeah, I haven't touched that yet either. Extension method. If we implement this using the slash approach, breaks from master detail, behavior, and existing tab shit. We should aim for a few things. Mutability, developer friendly, navigation paths. 2, flexibility. Page navigation, combination. So I think those 2 things are important. With those in mind, those considerations in mind, URI encoding makes already complex URIs even more difficult to read. Slash maintain existing behavior. Slash approach does not allow for a mix of pushing pages onto the existing or to the selected tabs, navigation stack, and creation of new modal stack. Also breaks existing behavior. In order to keep consistent approach established by create tab using pipes looks to be best. Oh, typing is hard. Thinking is hard. Ah, shit, that's not what I wanted at all. Actually, yeah, it was. So there's our... Okay, I think that spells it out relatively well. Brian, I don't know if you're interested in setting up a call with me and Dan to just go over this and make sure that we're all on the same page, but I'll leave that up to you guys at this point. I think this like kind of settles it, right? It's laid out pretty clearly. We want it easy to read, need to be flexible. It has to maintain the existing behavior, and it should be consistent. Okay. Good stuff. I like this. All right. So now let's go back to making our tests fail. So I don't know what the hell's going on with my test device. I don't care at this point. I can just ignore it. So I don't care about create tab yet. I really want to focus on just select. It's a better starting point. Sweet, thanks for the follow, Brian. These are some of the toys I was playing with on the weekend, trying to get my feed a little more fun. Check this one out. I hope this works. Yeah, there we go. I had fun with that one. I took the Clippy ship it GIF and had to frame by frame go through it and remove the white background. 92 frames. There's probably a better way to do that, but I'm not a graphic designer. All right, so let's see here. So this is our test. Let's make this red again. So content page, second content page. Bam. So we're gonna use the pipe. So this is our John, I'm glad you enjoy my... I love that Clippy ship it GIF. I think it's my favorite. It's so good. Yeah, so I had fun playing with that in Streamlabs. Just sat in front of the TV, watched Hunt for the Red October with my wife. She was like, "We haven't watched this in a while." Or I think she'd watched it back in the 90s. It should work for you, Brian. Let's see if it does. No, it didn't? Come on. I thought I had it set up so anybody could do it. Apparently I did not. Fix that for next time. Okay, so we get a red test. Good stuff. So really, at this point now, we want to see what's coming through here. Current page is tab page. Yeah, let's gonna throw a breakpoint on here. Debug that test. Yeah, I think I will too. Well, no, I don't think I will. I think I just need to change the parsing, right? Because everything else is downstream. It isn't tab page select tab. All right, well, I'm gonna see how this behaves anyways. Bear with me. Okay, so we got content page. So content page is our selected tab. So page is tab page mock. Yeah, so it basically does nothing with that second part of the URI. It just disregards it. So I think it's the parser, Brian. I think like the way this stuff works is going to stay as is, right? Because oh no, there's a little bit different, right? Yeah, you're right. Tab nav is going to have to be treated separately as a different stack. Oh man, okay. Okay. Yeah, easy. Okay, well, if it's going to be that easy, I think it's time for another beer. I will be back in a second. I'm back, and with another beer. This time I have a Yuzu Saison. I guess I should really pour that in the video only mode. Yeah. Perfect. Come on, focus. Not asking a lot of you, camera. Anyways, good beer. Good brewery. Cheers, everybody. Let's get back to it. Okay. So, yeah, gonna have to undo all that stuff. I mean, I didn't do a lot anyways, to be honest. Some pattern matching. Actually, you know what? What I'm gonna do, 938. Okay, just give me a sec. I don't want to revert this. I want to keep this history, this commit history, because I just want to remember what I did. And I'm gonna revert it. Wash 269. Thanks for the follow. How are you doing tonight? So I'm not going to revert this. I'm going to actually commit some of the cleanup stuff I did, which was this, and then shit. Wash 269. I do not make games. I make mobile apps. And sometimes my music just stops. Oh, okay. I make mobile apps using a cross-platform framework called Xamarin. So not really games. Could be used to make basic games, but it's not really focused at that. It's mostly on any other kind of app that is not a game. So you can write your code using one code base and use it to target iOS or Android. No, not like any of those. So that would be more like Unity. So Xamarin is kind of similar to Unity in a couple different ways. It's cross-platform and uses C# and .NET. But it doesn't have a 3D rendering engine or even like much of a 2D rendering engine. Okay, so I'm just going to put this back here. Unity 3D is more, even for 2D games or like those above view games, really any gaming. I built side scrollers using Unity. It's not my forte. I've actually worked with other people. Brian 916. Okay, give me a sec. I want to preserve this state I had the app in. I had things in before we started this change. So I want to commit and then I'll revert. It's funny that last beer I had green tea in it, and normally I don't notice it, but you know how green tea kind of almost puckers your mouth a little bit? I had that effect. Very, very interesting. This one's a lot more refreshing. Okay, so that's passing again. I just want to commit this. Okay. So now let me revert. Let me change this back. Give me a sec here. Oh, this is my local history. Shit. Local changes would be overwritten. What local changes? Oh, it's the whole commit. I don't want to revert that commit. I just want to get. Never mind. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Well, I made changes to the unit tests that I don't want to leave behind. I don't want to cherry pick them either. Yeah, this is back. So I did a get. It's good. We're good. So this is kind of interesting. This for each block is something that Dan and I had made changes to, but I don't even know if we want to actually roll that forward. Okay, anyways. 918. So selected tab type gets segment. So it's really this page type URL parsing helper. Yeah. So the URL parsing helper $858 of nav service. I take it. Create a tab can be a single view or nested in a navigation page with the syntax. Oh, okay. So you're doing it really simple here. I like it. And not nested within another. $938. We'll do the same thing. So the funny thing is, like, what is this kind of... Let's, Brian, I think what I want to do is run this with the debugger really quick and see what comes out of this, this method into... So I think URI parsing helper, this is going to get the selected var segment name. Yeah, but see, that's the this is the selected tab type, right? Oh, select the tab up here. Right. Okay, cool. Okay, so I can use that exact same thing, is what you're saying. Select the tab, split, then I have the segments. So then I can go tab segment stuff first. Select the tab segments. First is going to go select the tab type. And then we've got subsequent segments to navigate to. Right. So let's introduce a variable for that. Segment. Whoops. Select the tab contains our pipe, then we're going to parse it. We'll need the other segments later though. So let's actually bring that. Segment, so if not, all right. So we're good there. So use the pipe array, process nav into the selected tab page. Yeah. So that's, again, it's this down here. So if it's a navigation page, so I want to bring up some of the code we had from last session really quickly here, because I really like Yeah, you know what? It's fine. Okay, so we're iterating through. If it's a navigation page, then we're going to grab the rest of those tab segments. Yes, sir. Yeah, see, this is the crazy thing. So, yeah, so the code that we had subbed in here, I think was a little bit better. Had a couple of improvements to it. I don't want to compare that with branch. I want to compare it with yeah, this. So we just grab that and put it in line here. So Dan and I went through this and replaced this block, these two if statements, with this. Black Soda, hello. Thanks for the follow. So, yeah, I'm down with that. No exception, just take the first, right? I am definitely down with that. So, yeah, because then we just select the current page and break. So we don't need any of this jazz. Gets rid of about 5 lines. I like that. Yeah, I'm not a fan either. Because you're only going to get that at runtime, right? Or if you really test. Okay, so I'm down with that. That really simplifies this. That is cool. And we can get rid of that child found code completely. Okay. Good, I like this. It's nice. So now if we have a navigation page, set the current page, and then after that, there's my variable called tab segments. How do I do this? Tab segments. Any. True. I hate that we don't have a more terse way of putting that. It's not initialized necessarily. I don't want to nullify it really, but it's fine. Okay, so if we have tab segments, now we're going to start processing them. So we know our tab page, current page is a navigation page. So we can go decision to make, you say, Brian. Using the existing process. I say use existing process navigation because doesn't the existing, so the decision would be use the existing process navigation or a manually handle pushing to the nav stack. Yeah. So process navigation does more than just push to the nav stack, right? What is that called, that method? Process. This dot process navigation. I don't know why it was being odd there. Static void method. Yeah, we need to make sure we have all the info, right? So that's not too bad, really. Current page we have, child, segments, we have that, new queue, string, and then we can pass it our tab segments. Hold on, did I do that right? Enumerable string, yeah, we're good there. Child, oh yeah, right. Pass the nav page instead of the child because it's already cast to navigation page, which is what we want. Navigation parameters. What is this complaining about now? This in a static member, right. But I think this returns a task. Now that's the tricky part. So at this point, is there something I can use to fire and forget? Or do I need to change this all to return tasks? Or await this? This is actually within a loop, right? Mind you, the tricky part of this right now is we almost need that flag. Yeah, I'm not. We don't have use modal. All those parameters are optional. Yeah, the rest of those are optional. Why is this complaining? They're optional though. Okay. False and false. Now, what are we going to do about the task? And it's not static. So those are the two things we need to tackle now, because process navigation is not static and it returns a task. But our tab page, select tab, is static void. Well, configure tab page is not static, so that's fine. Where's the other use? Select page tab. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go through and change a little bit of this overall. Process navigation. Okay, that's fine. So I'm gonna have to make a bunch of these tasks and non-static. Private async task. Assume we want to await the output from, or await the result from process navigation, Brian. Bless you. Thanks for joining, John. Cheers. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. If we don't await it and it throws an exception, we're in trouble. That's the problem. So let me go through here and change some of these signatures. The only shitty thing about this is as soon as you get async, it's just the exceptions, man. Like, I don't mind doing it right the first pass. It's okay. It only takes a second, right? Like, we only got to change a couple of calls. So I'm very concerned about exceptions being swallowed. That's why I'd like to see this be done properly, like first hop. Because even debugging or running unit tests, like, want to make sure if it's gonna blow up, it does it correctly, right? Need that task handle. Okay, so where are we calling this from? So let me get back to this. Here, this one was already async task, so you just have to wait. Select page tab. Why is this giving me shit? Oh, it's in a delegate. Ah, damn it. Yeah, okay. I understand why you say just leave it void. Okay. Okay, well, might as well make it consistently in need of fixing. That can't be static. Keep that as void. Okay. Okay, so it's returning async task, but nothing else is. So we'll have to mess with that later. Okay, so let's see where we're at. Try out those nav, or try out those unit tests again. I got a matte screen cover for my screen because it's starting to get sunny. This is a relatively new MacBook. I got it in Got it in the fall, so I haven't used it through the summer yet. And I've always had a matte screen cover, and you can't get the same kind as I had before. Before I had one that actually adhered to the screen. Now they're all magnetic, and if you tilt your screen towards you, or even like if it's not tilted back, it separates at the bottom. It makes your screen blurry. It just drives me crazy. But I can't like take it off and leave it somewhere. It'll get dusty and I won't be able to use it. Okay. This is our test, right? Yep. Let's try it. Let's run it. It'll just work, right? Thankfully, beer. Yeah. Okay, what do we got? Through async. So something blew up. So we're expecting the second content page, and we've got the original content page. Well, it didn't crash. Let's throw a breakpoint in right here where we expect it to. Right where we started making changes, I think, is where we want to go. Right up here. Let's see exactly what goes on in here. Brian, I appreciate your help pairing on this. It's always good to get somebody who knows the code base, who wrote the code base. I'm trying to reset my font. I like control scrolled and Zoom went all crazy. Anyways, it's fine, I guess. I think that's better. Okay, so our selected tab. So this contains our pipe. This is content page, pipe, second content page. Good stuff. This is kind of concerning. We've broken, not where I had my breakpoint, but on a different line. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna rebuild. It's because it's on a declaration, that's why. All right, we'll land there instead. Debug. Yeah. If those are both content pages, it won't work. I don't think, yeah, the second content page is not a nav page. I'm using content page, second content page. So second content page is not, I don't think. Yeah. Oh shit, it inherits from content page mock. No, okay, so content page, here it is. Content page mock is not a navigation page. Second content page is not a navigation page. the tabbed page, when it sets up the tab, wraps content page in a navigation page. So if I look at the content page or the tab page we're using, where the hell is that? Here, tab page mock. Tab page mock declares 5 tabs, tab 1, tab 2, tab 3, and content page is wrapped with a navigation page. We good. We good. Okay, let's see. Cool, so there's our first. We're going to get the segments from there. Let's see. Get our segments. So 2 segments. And really, I shouldn't be going first. I should just immediately do this up as a queue. All right. Well, we'll get back to that. Just less screwing around with the link and redeclaring and blah, blah, blah. Okay, selected tab type. So our selected tab type is, this should be our content page mock. Yes, it is. So this is kind of the interesting thing with this too, right? Come on. So this first child is going to be our tab 1 mock. Put a breakpoint here and just run. Tab 2 mock. Tab 3 mock. Content page mock. Yeah. Yeah, and that's exactly what's going wrong. Okay, so let's stop this. It's nonsense. Do we have a link for 2Q? There's no way in hell. Let's just declare this as a queue of string. New queue of string. Good stuff. I don't know why it's doing this. This is new. This is a bug in Rider as of a couple days ago when they updated to 2020 version 1. So now I can just pass in tab segments because we can pop off the first queue item. Or DQ. Cool. It's much better. Okay, so I'm not going to put a breakpoint here. I'm instead going to put a breakpoint. I'll just keep it where it is. So then we'll run up to the point where it's already got the queue and we're going through the tabs. Then we can easily just skip through all the tabs until we're on the one that makes us, that we're interested in. Okay, we get there. I wonder if I'm stressing my machine and that's why it's operating slowly right now. The fan is running. It's not at takeoff type speed, it's just steady hum. Okay, which child do we got? So this is, again, we're going to go through tab 1. Evaluate faster, man. Okay, what do we got? Child's right there. So tab 1 mock. Collecting data. Tab 2 mock. Tab 3 mock. Here we go. So this is our navigation page mock, which contains our content page. Our navigation parameters might not be so good at this point. So content page is our segment. Tab segments. Yeah, debugger is not happy with me right now. So where's current page? Current page is our content page mock, so that's cool. Collapse that. And our second content page is our only item in the tab segments, which is awesome. So then we should get down to here. So I should just be able to run this. This will hit this condition here. Set our current page to our child. Okay, we should be in good shape by there. So here we go. Process navigation. This looks good. Let's see what happens. Test is not green. I should have stepped into that. But you know what? It's no problem. Next time we can only step into that. We don't have to step into anything else. We know we're hitting that. Pretty good shape. What we got here? Let's actually go to our test. Yeah, so when we get here, I want to see what we've got in our stack too. So let's run this again. There we go. Okay, let's step into this. See what's going on. Stepping into anything crazy, am I? What the hell? Okay, if that's going to be stupid. Okay, so segments. We have our one. That's going to be our second content page. All right, so we're going to come down and dequeue it. This is where I think things go astray, is right here. Oh no, there's no page parameters there, so okay. So we're not going to use modal. We're moving the segment. Current page is our navigation page mock. Just want to make sure that this navigation page mock, that the current page of the navigation page is set to our content page. It's really not liking me do any type of intense debugging here. Trying to close a few things, trying to squeeze a little bit more power out of my machine. So Brian thinks the issue is navigation, nav page, current page into the process navigation method, and I think he is right. Yeah, because it's going to evaluate. Okay, so current page is content page mock. Let's see where this goes. So I just want to look at this first. Navigation stack count isn't going to be 0. Just trying to think, trying to see what it's going to do here. Top page, next page type. It's going to be 1. Yeah, up at the count. Yeah. Let's see. Let's see where this goes. Just gonna hit the breakpoint there. Debugger is very slow right now. The machine is just not enjoying handling the stream and the other work I'm making it do. Play music and stream, and probably doesn't help that I'm trying to simplify my setup one little bit at a time. Okay, so clear navigation stack comes back as true. Why? I don't know how this works. Get clear page navigation stack. Yeah. Okay, cool. So let's do that. Let's try it. Ryan, I'm gonna yeah, stop debugging and take it on faith here. So I want to go back to my 900 and somethings. All right. Let's do it. Just gonna run it again. See if we get a green. Yeah, me too. Have some more beer. Cross my fingers. Yeah, it failed again. Okay, what do we got? Same result. So, okay. Not any worse. So now I've got a awkwardly placed breakpoint. Let's see how many times that gets hit. There's that awkwardly placed breakpoint. Let's tear through this. Okay, so process navigation. Debugger is just slow. Get current page, no nullable constructor. Task get a waiter. It's Weird. Sometimes the debugger is just odd in Rider. Okay, so we've got our next segment, which is going to be our second content page. Page parameters should be nada, yeah. Not using modal, not remove. It's not null. Okay, so process navigation for content page. Here we are. So our current page is our content page mock. I don't know, Brian. I think we wanted navigation, don't we? Actually, I don't know. You would know better. I don't know why I'm questioning that. That is stupid. So it's going to use reverse navigation. Next page type. Second content page mock, use reverse. So I'm not familiar with this concept of reverse navigation. Does this go back? So there's a, you're thinking there's a flaw in this use modal. It's false. Use reverse navigation. Has navigation page parent. Oh, that's basically what we've got here, right? Let's muck with this a little bit. Just gonna drag this back up. Step into some of this. So next page is a subclass of content page. So this is going to return true. Oh, navigation pages need to be built in reverse? Really? Only one item on the stack, so it should still work. Okay, well let's see. See what happens. So we know this is going to return true. So has navigation page parent is going to return true. Page parent, nav page parent, right. So this is going to return true. We can see that happen. Yeah, there it is. So that's coming back. Use reverse navigation is coming back true. So use reverse. Segments has nothing in it. Our next segment has second content page. Navigation stack. Push next segment. Item, navigation stack. So this is just like an artificial stack. Push item. So we should get to here at some point. Let's see. There's only one item in this. We don't even need to necessarily. Oh no, segments won't even have anything in it. Comes in with nothing. Comes in empty because we have nothing else to process. Page offset. That's our current count. So our current page, navigation stack count is 1. It's greater than 2. Navigated from target. Current page is navigation page. Navigation page equals current page. Navigation.current page is not equal to null, so we should hit that block there. Actually, our current page is a navigation page, so that won't get hit. Insert before navigation stack count greater than 0. So now we've got one page in there, yeah. Navigation stack pop. So that is second content page. So create page from segment, next page. So this should be our second page mock. Yep. So then do push. Something's up with do push. Let's go look at that. 'Cause yeah, it shouldn't do shit. This should be working now. So our current page is our content page mock. Our page is our second page. Cool. What the hell? What? Hold on. I'm gonna stop this. Something just went odd. I hit step over and yeah, something went crazy. Okay, let's stop this. Brian says, what the fuck? And I agree. What the fuck? More beer, Brian. So something in do push is not doing what we want it to. We'll figure that out really quick. So what do we got? Current page. Jesus Christ, this debugger is slow. next segment. I think I can just let this play. I don't think we're at where we want to go yet. Yeah, we're not. Process navigation. It's fine. Now we're going to get into where we want to be. Let that go again. I know. I have too much going on. Usually this is very fast. I think running Streamlabs and like too much other stuff is taking its toll on my system. I don't really have that much open. Streamlabs for sure. But let me quit a few other things really quickly. Try and regain a couple of CPU cycles. Parallels I'm not using. James' stream timer I'm done with. Yeah. I mean, I'm like terrible for having 1,000 browser tabs open. Let's see if I close a few. Close that. Browser's struggling too. Oh, it immediately is. It's feeling snappier already. Oh yeah, I wanted to look at this, but we're not going to get there today. I'm going to close this whole browser session. Okay, this should help. I just freed up a bunch of stuff, a bunch of resources. All right, let's see. Okay, use reverse, true. So here's where we're at. We have current page. Oh, this is so much snappier. Second content page, so we're in the right place. I just had too many browser windows open. It's not surprising. Okay, so we have a breakpoint do push. Let's get there. So we have current page, content page mock. Second content page mock. Now, what I did last time is I hit step over and just, I don't know what the hell happened. Nothing good. So our current page is not null, so we know we're not going to hit that. I want to see what happens here. So we should hit directly into here. So I should hit run, and we should end up at this next breakpoint. No, throws an exception somewhere. Guaranteed. Something is up. I don't know why though. Why would it throw an exception between here and there? Something is broken. No? Or do you think this is on another thread? Oh, right. It's because we're running parallel right now because we're not handling. Yeah. Because we didn't await that up the stack. Is that why we're in a shitty state? All right, we're back to where we want to be. Okay. Cool. That's totally why. So that other thread's gonna return before this one's done, because we've essentially fired and forgotten this. That's why this is actually probably working the way we want it to. It's a race condition in the unit test at this point, or in the service. Okay, what do we got here? Content page. Tab page mock, yeah. Okay, so we got to make some big changes to handle that that task all the way up the call stack. This is the biggest part of this change, is the fact that we now have async code that needs to be handled all the way through. Okay, I can't keep track of what we're looking at. It's skipping around like crazy now. Okay, we're at second content page mock. I just want to make sure that this actually does what we expect. Use modal for push. Jesus, now it's hitting the other one. Okay, second content page mock. We're looking at the right thread. Now we're not looking at the right thread. So this is the tab page. This gets pushed onto the stack now. So this should start returning now. So this is going to return all the way out and exit out of navigation service. It's like finished. Insert before last. So now we're back into our other thread. Oh God. Okay. Push async. Yeah, so we're pushing it onto the stack. So this is working just the way we expect. Okay. All right. Good times. Good times. All right, well, shit. Time to fix that issue, isn't it? So where are we here? Here it is. Wait. Brian, you go eat. Yeah, I got it. Thanks very much for your help. Looking forward to seeing your comments on this. I'm going to try and get this wrapped up as quickly as I can and at least put the PR up and draft. So enjoy your meal. Have a great night. I'll talk to you later. Really appreciate the help. Cheers. All right, so where else do I need to change that? Get rid of this pane. Holy crap, I need to decrease this too. Let's see. Lachlan, hey. Thanks for the raid. Welcome everybody. We're working on some Prism changes. Just missed Brian. Kim. Lachlan. How are you? Hi, Dan. So I have been pairing with Brian Lagunas, one of the contributors or one of the maintainers of Prism, and we've been working on making some changes for tab navigation. And I'm just wrapping it up. So we just found out that our unit tests are failing because we tried to shortcut the implementation and weren't awaiting our code through our whole call stack. So we're in the, if you're not familiar with Prism, it is a MVVM framework for Xamarin.Forms, and it has this really excellent navigation service. It's basically the heart, one of the core pieces of what Prism does, and Tari Sag, thank you for the follow. So this navigation service does some really great stuff, including URI-based navigation. So what we're essentially doing, and I just went through and did a window closing blitz, but I still have a little bit, some of my notes open somewhere. My browser will behave itself if Nope, it's not going to. Anyways, I can show you in our test fixture. So our test here, you can have a navigation string for a navigation service. So you can call navigate async, pass it a string, say I want to go to my tab page, so predefined tab page. I want to select my content page tab. So this is not a Xamarin.Forms content page, this is just a sample content page. And then I want to navigate from the stack of this. So this is, if this content page is wrapped in a navigation page, I want to navigate, push another page to the stack, the second content page. So that's what we're trying to do. So this piece was not implemented before. It only supported modal from this point on. So you could select a tab, and we're almost done. We're so close. We ran the unit test, it failed, and then we debugged the unit test to see why it was failing. And it was failing because we were not awaiting all of our asynchronous calls. So that's what we're working on right now, is making sure that we made a change to our tab navigation, our tab page select tab method. And that basically involves when the navigation service found the page you were trying to select, and you had more navigation to do, so you had more segments. So you had that pipe delimiter, and then you had more pieces after that. Lachlan, yes, this is the Prism code. So we are working on a contribution and enhancement for Prism. I had built a bolt-on for Prism that I've been using in a couple apps. And I went, well, you know, this bolt-on is fine, but it doesn't really benefit others. And I use Prism so much and use it in almost all of my apps. And I figured, what better time to give back than with this? I've got some time because I'm stuck at home all the time, and I might as well do something constructive to it. So constructive with it. So I've been working on this a couple times a week and making decent progress. I actually had the implementation done, and then we kind of reviewed it. Brian jumped on the stream today. We reviewed it, and he said, hey, this doesn't quite work. It breaks a couple of cases, so we got to implement this a little bit differently. So we actually switched. This pipe was initially, I had that as a slash, and that doesn't work because it breaks existing functionality. It's a little bit inconsistent with the way other parts of the framework of Prism library work. So we decided, we kind of looked at all our solutions and all our options. We had about 5 options we were kicking around, narrowed it down to this because there's another piece of Prism where you can dynamically create tabs as part of your tab page. I will show you some of that down here. So what you can do is you can say navigate async. You can use create tab, and this is really just, it's create tab. This is just a string. And if, say, you want to create a tab that's a page, one of your pages wrapped in a navigation page, you use this pipe delimiter syntax to say, this is the first page I'm going to load up. I'm going to use a navigation page to wrap my tab 2. So we're going to use that same syntax within select tab now. So the select tab will also support this pipe syntax. So you can build out your stack beyond your navigation page and the view that sits within that navigation page. So that means from here, using this, you can even go further. So you can reference any page in your you can load any page you want into your tab, into the navigation stack of your selected tab. But then if you want to overlay a modal over top of that, you have the ability to do that. It's the ultimate flexibility. So we decided on this design because it gives us the ability to reach into absolutely every page you could reach into with the UI, which is awesome. It's really great, really powerful for deep links, because then what you can do, and this is what we are getting, this is what I'm really striving to do. I'm going to have to load up Visor again. Hopefully my phone is behaving. It is not, but I'll show you a quick example of what we're trying to get at here because I've got it on my test device here. My test device probably needs to be restarted, maybe. Here we go. So we've got a page on here. I've got just a very simple page with some deep links. So I've got a link like this. I'll bring this up. So it's looking at main page, which is our tab page. We're going to select the tab called items page. And then we're going to navigate. So this is before. This is when I was using the slash syntax before we moved over to the pipe syntax. But I'm going to navigate to item detail page, ID2. So that allows me to go into my app, and I'll show you the app. I've just got a very simple, based on the Xamarin.Forms template. Very simple app. And it hasn't been working. Something's funny with this device or the latest version I deployed or something. Something does not like it. Anyways, it's a very simple, it's based on the Xamarin.Forms template. Very simple app that has a list of items, and you can drill into one of those items. So now you can do that with a deep link from just a URL. So you don't have to, if you're deep linking within your app, you can just use the Prism syntax anywhere on the app, anywhere on the web, have that pass into your Xamarin.Forms app, pass it over to Prism, and it'll take you to your page, which is fantastic. Fantastic. Okay, so I'm just going to finish this up. I'm really at the end here, and we are almost ready to rock here. Just want to await all of our code here to make sure that we had crazy race condition. Definitely want to get rid of that. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Because we just tried to shortcut. And what we ended up seeing is our first navigation action, which was navigating to our actual tab page from that unit test, is completing in front of our second navigation action, which was loading up the child pages. So that was fun. Took us a while. It took about half hour of debugging to figure out what was actually going on there. Make method async task page. Yes, that is what I want. Async all the way down. 11 usages. Whew. So this is where things get a little bit dicey because this is a big change. This is most of the navigation service was static void leading up to this point. So really seeing, I'm just going to do this, find usages, just make my life a little easier. Making these changes, this is a pretty big sweeping change that we're making here. As everybody knows, it's async all the way down, right? Good times. I think that's a few more. A few more. Wait. Just going to refresh this quickly. This is basically going to turn this entire class to async. Okay, I think we got it though. So now I need to, it doesn't really, I don't really have a lot of clarity on containing methods. I want to make sure that those are async as well. I think we're good. I think this is all the way up now, like the whole stack. It's looking good. Actually, you know what? I know this is good because I put in those awaits and I'd be getting compiler errors at this point. This would be red if any of those methods weren't async. So I think we're in really good shape here. So let's see. This is a moment of truth. If this test is green when I run it, then our work here is done. We can just go on our merry way. I'm almost done anyways. I'm actually about 5 minutes over my allotted time, so we'll see. It's about bedtime for me here. It's 10 p.m. here in Toronto. I appreciate the raid. I hope your DevOps session was really good. I'll try and, well, I won't try. I'll take a look at that. Hey, look, we're green. Now, watch carefully. This is the most important part. Right here. Ship it. Yeah, yeah. All right. I'm very happy with that result. It looks like we're back to the point where this is working, and I'm just going to test this next one with the create tabs. So these both do the same. These both do similar things. This uses predefined tab page, and this dynamically creates tabs. Let's see if the one using the dynamically created tabs passes. Does not. But that's okay. I know why it doesn't. Because we tacked on another page that isn't even registered with a navigation service. Let's make that run now. Yeah, it worked, Brian. Thank you for your help. Really appreciate that. This has been very fun. And I think if this goes green, we're certainly done for the night. Yeah, I'll add some. So next session will be just continuing on testing. So this was a little bit of reworking. Hey, look, another one. Another green test. I like it. All right. With that, I think it's time for me to sign off for the night. I'm going to commit what we've done. Navigation service, the fixture. Refactored. Page navigation service. And tests to use pipe delimited selected tab navigation. Awesome. Thanks for joining, everybody. If you're interested, you can catch my catch some replays. You can look at our YouTube, Toronto Mobile Devs YouTube, and I'll be back on Saturday. So awesome. Thanks so much. See you later. I wonder if there's, before I sign off, before I just drop everybody, we could re-raid. Let's see if we got something going on. If my browser will respond. It does not like me. It is not happy. Clearly my browser was using all my resources here. This is what's going on. Clearly. Let's see. Can we raid anyone? Oh, that's Twitch playing. There's nobody else that I've been following, so that's it. All right. Good night, everybody. See you later.